When India talks about sustainable transformation, it often sounds like progress in motion. And now the government's new SHANTI Bill, that is the sustainable harnessing of advancement of nuclear energy for transforming India, is being hailed as the next big leap. The target of the bill is staggering 100 gigawatts of nuclear power by 2047. But here is the twist. For the first time, India wants to open its closely guarded nuclear sector to private players, from exploration to fuel fabrication. The Department of Atomic Energy (DAE) will still hold on to sensitive areas like the heavy water and waste management, but the rest might soon be open for business. Sounds like a bold step, right? Well, not everyone is convinced. Because behind the optimism, India's nuclear industry remains clogged in confidentiality and opacity. Safety data is rarely made public, and environmental watchdogs have long warned about technical negligence and regulatory blind spots. The Nuclear Power Corporation of India (NPCIL) runs the show, but critics say it does so largely in secrecy. And here is the irony. After witnessing disasters like Fukushima, the world learned the importance of independent oversight. Yet India's regulatory body, the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board (ARAB), still answers directly to the same department it is supposed to regulate, the DAE. So, can a watchdog that reports to the same entity it's meant to monitor really ensure safety? Officially, the ARAB was created to adopt global benchmarks, but in practice, it struggles with limited staff, outdated equipment, and frankly, no real autonomy. As a result, India still lacks unified enforceable nuclear safety policy. Now, outside the bureaucratic halls, the picture turns darker. There have been mysterious deaths of nuclear scientists, protests met with gunfire, and radiation-related fatalities near some major power plants. In several regions, locals say they were never given the proper information about risks or the safety plans. India's Auditor General has repeatedly flagged the program as unpredictable and poorly regulated. Even the parliament once admitted there were serious organizational flaws and questioned why the ARAB still lacked legal independence. So when global experts called Fukushima a wake-up call, India's nuclear establishment hit snooze. The DAE publicly insisted that Indian reactors were secure, even as the rest of the world conducted sweeping safety audits. In fact, the then chairman of NPCIL, S.K. Jain, infamously said, "There is no nuclear accident in Japan, only an emergency preparedness program." That comment alone speaks volumes about the complacency inside the India's nuclear circles. And it didn't stop there. From the Bhopal gas tragedy to repeated mishaps at plants built with foreign components, safety lapses have been quietly brushed aside. Remember the 2016 leak at Kakrapur in Gujarat? The government called it minor. Later reports suggested it was far worse, and no one ever confirmed the exact cause. Citizens were not even allowed to use Geiger counters to measure the radiation because of the so-called national security. That's not transparency, that's control. Now here is where the politics enters the equation. When the BJP was in opposition, it strongly criticized India's civil nuclear expansion, even backed protests against projects like Kundankulam and Jetapur. But once in power, the party took a complete U-turn. Today, nuclear power is being pushed aggressively with little space for dissent and even less room for accountability. Meanwhile, foreign suppliers are signing billion-dollar deals, often without thoroughly safety assessments. And that is where the real danger lies. Because a single oversight in this field does not just endanger a plant, it threatens entire regions. India's energy ambitions are understandable. A growing nation needs power. But nuclear energy is not just about megawatts. It's about trust. Trust that systems are transparent, trust that the oversight is independent, and trust that in the race for progress, safety won't be sacrificed at the altar of growth. So as India moves forward with this SHANTI Bill, one question remains. Will this be a step towards genuine transformation or just another layer of secrecy under a new name?